Progress of LLMs in 2025. It feels like every single year AI takes some kind of massive leap forward. But according to the expert Karpathy, the year of 2025 was so different. It wasn't just about making things better, it was about fundamental shifts in how we view, understand, and use AI. So in this explainer, we're going to break down the key changes that really truly redefine the entire landscape. Karpathy himself calls it a strong and eventful year. But listen, this wasn't just about making the models bigger or faster. It was about them becoming different and, in a lot of ways, way more capable than we were expecting. So what really went down? What were these breakthroughs that made 2025 such a pivotal year for large language models? Let's dive in. First up, smarter, stranger machines. We were going to look at how the core engine of AI got a major and frankly kind of unexpected upgrade. You see, for a while now, there's been a pretty standard recipe for building a powerful AI. But in 2025, a brand new ingredient got added to the mix and it changed everything. We had this well-established three-step process, right? You start with pre-training on just a massive amount of text. Then you do supervised fine-tuning for specific tasks. And finally, you use reinforcement learning from human feedback or RLHF to get it to behave the way we want. But then 2025 added a fourth super powerful stage, RLVR. So what is RLVR? It stands for Reinforcement Learning from Verifiable Rewards. The big idea here is that instead of just learning from fuzzy human preferences, the models were trained on tasks with clear, provable, right or wrong answers. Think math problems or coding puzzles. This forced them to figure out their own problem-solving strategies, a process that honestly looks a lot like real reasoning. Okay, but this is where it gets really interesting. This new power didn't just make AI smarter in the ways we thought they'd be. It showed us that we were not just building a better version of human intelligence. No, we are creating something else entirely. Karpathy uses this brilliant metaphor, animals versus ghosts. Animal intelligence, that's us, evolved over millions of years for survival in a complex world. It's broad, it's holistic. But AI is a ghost intelligence. It's summoned into existence for a specific task and optimized for a specific reward. That makes it powerful, but in a totally different, almost alien way. And this right here, this visualizes what Karpathy calls jagged intelligence. If you were to map out human intelligence, sure it has its ups and downs, but an AI's profile is just wildly spiky. You get these unbelievable peaks of pure genius right next to the shocking valleys of total incompetence. It's like one moment you're talking to a genius polymath that knows everything about everything, and the very next moment it's like a confused grade schooler realizing that we're dealing with both of those things at the same time was a massive mental shift for everyone in the field in 2025. Okay, so if we know these AIs are getting smarter and weirder, the next question is obvious. How did we actually start putting them to work in the real world? Three big trends really took off. First, this whole new layer of dedicated LLMs apps that bake AI right into our workflow. Second, and this is a big one, AI started moving from the cloud to actually live on our computers. And third, a whole new way of programming using just plain English, which people started calling vibe coding. Let's pause on that second point for a second, because it is a huge deal. For years, AI was the thing you'd go visit on a website, but in 2025, tools started emerging that let the AI run right there with you on your own machine. And the difference is night and day. A cloud AI is general, it's a little slow, and it knows nothing about you. But local AI, it can access your private files, it understands your personal context, and it can interact with you instantly. This just created a much more powerful and personal way to work. And all of this local power unlocked vibe coding. Suddenly, you didn't have to be some expert coder to build a piece of software. You could just describe what you wanted. You'd give it the vibe, and the AI would actually build it for you. The knock-on effect of this was just mind-blowing. Code stopped being the precious, difficult thing you had to spend weeks crafting. It becomes cheaper, temporary, and disposable. You could have an AI build an entire custom application for a task you were only going to do once. Okay, for our final part, let's look to the future. With these incredibly powerful new AIs in our hands, what does the future of talking to them even look like? Let's go beyond the chat box. Think about it this way. Talking to an AI in a chat window today, it's basically the new command line from the 1980s. I mean, it's powerful, but it's just the very beginning of the story. The history of how we use computers shows this clear path, right? We went from the command line to the graphical desktop with a mouse, and then to the mobile touch screens. Chat is just the next stop on that journey. It is absolutely not a final destination. So the billion-dollar question is, if chat is the command line, what's the graphical user interface for AI? What does that next giant leap in usability actually look like? Well, we started to see the first hints in 2025 with things like Google's famous Nano Banana demo. The concept is something called an LLM GUI, a way for the AI to talk back to us, not just with words, but in a rich visual and spatial way. So the big takeaway is this: the future of AI interaction isn't just going to be human typing more text. It's about the AI finally learning to speak our preferred language, the language of images, chats, infographics, and even slides just like this. Karpathy's summary of the year really just says it all. AI is at the same time a lot smarter than I expected and a lot dumber than I expected. It's this jagged, weird, alien intelligence that we are really only just getting to know. From brand new ways of training to completely new ways of working, 2025 really did set the stage for the next era of AI. And it just leaves you with this one really exciting thought. If this is what the 1 year of progress looks like, where on earth do we go from there?